In the region of Vesuvius, one of the most fertile areas of Italy, the Italian police are investigating a serious case of illegal waste trafficking run by organized crime. Casal di Principe is a small village believed to be under the control of the Camorra. Behind the house of a mafia family, the environmental police uncovered a dump filled with toxic industrial sludge, including medical waste, asbestos and building materials. The groundwater in the area is also polluted. Police are continuing their search as information from the same source has led them to believe that boxes of lead from Germany could also be buried here. This could be an indication of an international trafficking ring.
Quando facciamo le attività di scavo, ci aspettiamo di trovare non soltanto rifiuti che provengono dalla sede locale.
We are expecting to find not only waste from surrounding areas and other sites in Italy, but also from other European countries and even other continents, according to court documents.
Dimostrano in modo incontrovertibile.
The underground dumps prove that the trafficking of industrial waste by the Camorra in this region has been going on since the 80s. This area stretching between Naples and Caserta and including around 50 villages is known as the Land of Fires. Residents are continually complaining about fires in the countryside. These are started by criminals to get rid of both urban and industrial waste. Only last year there were reports of more than 2,500 fires. Enzo Tosti, an environmental activist, takes us to an abandoned factory near Orta di Atella that was closed down by the police. They used to produce organic manure here, and according to Enzo, would do so with the addition of industrial sludge. Inside the factory, there are more than 30 bags of textile waste left there by illegal companies.
Many of these companies who are working illegally in these areas are also working for famous Italian brand names.
In the heart of the countryside, small furnaces like this one are regularly relit. Municipal waste is burnt here with bitumen from the illegal construction sector and textile waste as well as asbestos.
This stuff here, especially the bitumen, keeps the fires burning for days on end and releases poisonous fumes into the air. They linger for weeks and weeks.
It's an environmental disaster which is exasperating the citizens. Let's go to Caivano, a village on the outskirts of Naples and controlled by the Camorra. The local parish priest, Father Maurizio Patriciello, is leading a battle against the environmental degradation in the Land of Fires.
We conduct the funeral ceremonies, so we are called when people are sick. I discovered that in my community, many people were dying from the same diseases, cancer and leukemia. I conducted the funeral of Luciano, aged 16, Antonio, just 10, a young mother who was only 30, then another mother who was 26.
At the moment, there isn't sufficient evidence to link the deaths from cancer to the environmental degradation. However, according to a study from the Italian Institute of Health, the cases of liver, stomach and bladder cancer are higher here than the regional average, and there is a sharp increase in new cases of brain tumours and leukemia in children. One of Father Maurizio's congregation is Anna. 6 years ago she lost her son, who had a very aggressive form of leukemia. Baby Ricciardo died aged just 22 months after a year of intensive therapy and a bone marrow transplant. Anna is convinced he was a victim of the environmental crimes in the region.
Someone, some awful criminal, for just a small amount of money, or perhaps a lot, I don't know, has stopped my son from taking any more steps. These shoes represent all the children of my country who are no longer here.
Anna has formed a group with other mothers who have lost their children through eco-mafias, and they are accusing the Italian government of ignoring this trafficking of waste for decades under a conspiracy of silence.
It's not possible that with all these trucks loaded with toxic waste and harmful sludge traveling from the north of Italy to the south, nobody saw or heard anything. No one has ever stopped any of these trucks and asked to see what they're carrying.
According to an environmental agency, Legge Ambiente, for the last 20 years, at least 410,000 trucks have crossed Italy, depositing more than 10 million tons of industrial waste in these areas, and it could be many more. In Calvi Risorta, an industrial area in the province of Caserta, the environmental police have discovered what they believe to be the largest illegal dump in Europe, with over 2 million cubic meters of waste buried in an area of 25 hectares.
La Camorra ha fatto la sua parte, ma la Camorra ha fatto
The Camorra has played its part. It has made a pact with an illegal industry. Let's face the truth. It's an illegal industry, whatever the industrial entrepreneurs say. Because with the industrial entrepreneurs seeking only to defend themselves, and some countries in Northern Europe refusing to believe they have these problems, I think we are all wrong. This is a global problem.
According to Europol, today illegal trafficking of toxic waste is on the rise, especially in the countries of Northern and Western Europe, exporting waste in West Africa and in Asia. A trend confirmed by Claudia Salvestrini, who heads a consortium to monitor the recycling of plastics. Italy, the destination for the waste, is now a platform for the trade of plastic to China.
The very thorough controls being carried out now in Italian ports are forcing shipments to be moved to Marseille, Slovenia and Croatia, and from there they follow the Asian routes.
We're going over to the Naples public prosecutor to understand how this phenomenon is evolving. The traffic of waste has become the fourth criminal business in Italy, and not just in the south. In Brescia, in northern Italy, the traffic of waste from Australia and Slovenia was discovered. The public prosecutor in Naples explains how it works.
Waste trafficking is becoming more and more complex. All the documents are forgeries, and this allows the waste to be trafficked and hidden amongst the legal waste being transported. Italy has just passed a law making such crimes punishable by up to 15 years in prison. But according to the Italian authorities, legislation in all European countries should be strengthened.
Italy has just passed a law to toughen the punishment for these criminals, who now face up to 15 years in prison. According to the Italian authorities, this new measure should also be applied in the rest of Europe.
Noi auspichiamo che sia patrimonio europeo una legislazione antimafia con l'aggravante ambientale.
We hope that legislation against mafia aggravated environmental crime will become European law. That will allow us to have a common method of investigation, and we can then avoid this kind of criminal colonization in some European countries, which then become an obvious target for criminals.
Sono visti oggi da alcune organizzazioni criminali come un luogo dove poter delinquenzialmente investire.
The cleansing of the land is continuing slowly, with the fear that the Camorra, after having polluted certain areas, is now getting rich with the healing process. The inhabitants of Campania are calling out for the mapping of dangerous sites, because not all of the land in this region is polluted.